Hello friends, I hope you are well and safe. Last lectures we discussed about problem number 1. In that we have studied how to calculate the excess capital. We studied the how we will calculate our excess capital by using proportionate capital method. In question number 1, PQR, these particular partners and only P hold 80,000 rupees as a final excess capital. Now next step, what we have to do. Now friends, in our piecemeal distribution, the next treatment we have to do, that is order of payment. Order of payment means what? Whatever amount received after the sold of the assets, same amount we will use for payment of liabilities. Now if you see in our problem, what kinds of liabilities are there? So in liability side we have a sundry creditors 1,60,000, loan from Q 40,000. These two liabilities are there. So what we have to do? First payment. I already discussed about the order of the payment in previous lectures. In what will be the order of payment is there. First of all, we have to pay realization expenses, then reserves for unrecorded and contingent liability, outside liability. Outside liability, which liability we have to pay first? First we have to pay creditors, secured and unsecured, that we have discussed. Then after that, partners loan and partners capital we will pay after the paying the outside liabilities, that we have already discussed. So same things we have to do in our problem also. We have to pay first realization expenses. There is no realization expenses here. Now only first of all loan from Q. Q is one of the partner. He has provided loan to our partnership firm. So sundry creditors is outside liability we have to pay first. So we will write here sundry payment, first payment, sundry creditors. It is a outside liability. We can say that outside liability we will pay first. The amount rupees, how much amount we have to pay? Rupees 1,60,000. Then second liability we have to pay loan from Q. Now Q has provided loan, that amount of rupees 40,000. This particular liability we have to pay first. After that we have to pay to whom? We have three partners, PQR. Their profit sharing ratio 1:2. The person holding final excess capital, that amount we have to pay first. Final excess capital held by Mr. P. P has hold final excess capital. So first this particular amount we have to pay first. These things you have to keep in mind. So first payment we can write that paid to partner P. How much amount? 80,000. So these things you have to keep in mind, which amount to pay first after paying all the outside liabilities. Outside liabilities and creditors, then partners loan we have to pay. Then after that, third payment we have to put as a final excess capital held by the partner. Here in our problem, P has hold 80,000 rupees is the final excess capital. So we will pay first to Mr. P. After paying the Mr. P's capital, now fourth payment what we have to do. Now if you see that the previous excess capital hold by P 90,000 and Q 10,000. Final excess capital 80,000 was there, that we will consider for payment 80,000. Now if you see that previous excess capital held by P 90,000 and Q 10,000, so we have to give next preference for payment paid to P and Q. How much amount we have to pay? So here 80 from this 90,000, 80,000 already paid. It means only 10,000 we have to pay to P and 10,000 pay to Q. The total amount we have to pay 20,000. So these things you have to keep in mind. Then after that, whatever amount remain, it is paid to all partners as per their profit sharing ratio. You see friends, the order of payment is very important. First of all, we have to pay the outside liability, sundry creditors, loan from Q. Then after that, we have to pay to the partners, the final excess partner hold by Mr. P. Therefore, we have to pay the final excess capital 80,000 to Mr. P. Then previous excess capital belong to P and Q. So 90,000 rupees was P's excess capital and Q's excess capital was 10,000. From this 90,000, 80,000 already paid. It means we have to pay 10,000 to Mr. P and 10,000 to Mr. Q. The total amount we have to pay Mr. P and Q 20,000. Then remaining amount paid to all partners as per their profit sharing ratio. Okay, I hope you understood the order of payment. Now we will discuss the important part, that is piecemeal distribution of the cash. So we have to study the piecemeal distribution of the cash. So this statement we will prepare and we will find out whether partnership firm suffer losses or earn surplus amount of profit after the dissolution. So this statement we will prepare, the statement showing piecemeal distribution of the cash. here we have to write particulars. Here cash available in rupees. Then liabilities we have to pay. First we have to pay creditors, so we have to write liability of creditors in rupees. Then we have to pay the loan from Q, and then after that after paying the loan from Q, we have to pay partners capital. We have to consider what kinds of partners are there. The partner P Q R, these are the partners. So this partners capital we have to consider afterwards. Okay, these things you have to keep in mind while preparing this. Okay, this line not necessary in this particular column, not necessarily, but I will keep for my previous next solution purpose, but not necessary to prepare the what we have to prepare. Particulars, cash available, creditors, loan from Q, then all partners capital we have to write here, or partners name we have to put here, capital also we have to put. Now how we will write, how we will start. Balance brought down. Now friends, if you see that our problem asset side bank balance, they are provided 12,000. The 12,000 amount we will put as a cash available. Creditors amount we have to pay 1,60,000. So we have to write 1,60,000. And loan from Q we have to put here 40,000. Then PQR. Now friends, if you see the adjusted capital, that capital we will record it. Now adjusted capital is there. Where it is the adjusted capital? If you see in our problem, first step, adjusted capital 2,60,000, 1,80,000, 3,40,000. This particular three figures we have to consider while preparing this particular statement. So adjusted capital 2,60,000, P's adjusted capital, the Q's adjusted capital 1,80,000, and R's adjusted capital 3,40,000. So if you see that friends, we will record it adjusted capital of the PQR. These things you have to keep in mind while preparing our statement showing piecemeal distribution of the cash. After recording this, now we will pay first our order. Order is very important. Order you have to consider. First payment we have to give to the sundry creditors. Now friends, if you see that we have only 12,000 available balance, we don't have the capacity to pay all money in one time. So whatever amount is there, the same amount we will consider for payment of the liability. We will pay gradually. We will pay slowly because piecemeal distribution. So whatever amount is there, that we have to consider. So less paid to creditors 12,000. 12,000. Creditor side also recorded 12,000. Now rest of the balance. Now we don't have any cash. We paid the 12,000. The rest of the amount 1,48,000. Still we have to pay to the creditors. Now if you see in our problem, on 31st July realization amount 1,10,000. It means what? We sold some assets. Whatever asset we have, we sold and we earn money 1,10,000. The same amount we will use. So we will write here 31st July first realization or installment, we can say installment. It's 1,10,000 is there. 1,10,000. Now this particular 1,10,000 expenses incurred at the time of sold of the assets 2,000. This 2,000 amount we will deducted from this 1,10,000. These things you have to keep in mind because it is a realization. These are expenses at the time of realization. The realization expenses we will deducted. Now we have a cash available, that is 1,08,000. Cash available rupees 1,08,000. The 1,08,000 cash is available. This cash we can use for payment of creditors. So less paid to creditors. Full amount we have to pay because we have to pay 1,48,000. 1,08,000 we have to pay to creditors. The balance balance is nil. And from this 1,08,000 paid, the remaining amount still creditors liability 40,000. Now see that after payment of the 1,80,000 we don't have any cash balance. So what we will do, we will consider 31st August realization 3,40,000 and expenses 10,000. So we will write here 31st August second this we will deduct 10,000 expenses. See that 3,40,000 and 10,000 we will deduct it. The rest of the value cash available, that is 1,30,000. 1,30,000 we will consider. Now from this 1,30,000 we can easily pay 40,000 creditors. Now balance available. Balance is 3,30,000 minus 40,000. Rest of the balance 2,90,000. And creditors are paid, and now they are nil. The first liability we paid to creditors, whatever we have, that we have paid to creditors.